This week, the Montgomery County Planning Board passed an initiative called Attainable Housing Strategies Project, which will allow duplexes, triplexes, and smaller apartment buildings to be built in single-family home neighborhoods across the county. Not sure how that's all going to be, how that's going to work. But Nancy, you're our expert on this because you've served on the planning board as well as the county council, and you've got great, insight on this. How big a problem is housing affordability in the county? And is the planning board really consistent with the vision of Montgomery County that we've had in the past? And or are they just trying to, throw some, mud on the wall and see if it sticks?
Well, I do think there is an affordability issue. I talked to a young person who's trying to buy a house, and what they're focusing on now is what's called so-called missing middle in terms of mid-income families and what they could afford to have access to. This initiative, which has not been formalized in terms of zoning or master planning, as far as I understand it, really would permit some additional units in some additional area in R90, R60 zones, which are the ones in the more urban parts of the county, and to a lesser extent in the more suburban areas under certain conditions. So when you're talking about adding a duplex here and there or some 40 unit configurations, I don't think much of that's going to happen. We already have a little bit of that in Tacoma Park left over from the early days, and you see it all over the district. Duplexes are everywhere, but that's older stock. I don't think I'm not sure that the cost of doing it is going to be worth it to builders because they can make so much on a tear down these days. This may be more welcome or doable in the Wheaton area, which is relatively close to transit, in parts of Silver Spring, where there's some units ripe for a certain amount of redevelopment. But remember, Montgomery County is pretty much built out in the more urban areas. And so it's going to be a real math question as to whether it's a worthwhile initiative for anyone trying to make the dollars work. And they still have to pay impact taxes and the like in many cases, which affects the affordability of these units.
Well, I mean, the other obvious solution is, of course, supply and demand. I mean, there is a huge demand, and the supply is relatively tight. I mean, if we could open up the ag reserve, perhaps. I mean, we're a changing community now. The ag reserve may be anachronistic. Mark, critics believe this plan is part of the reviled, Thrive Montgomery 2050 plan, and it's designed to destroy Montgomery County and turn it into a borough like the Bronx.
Probably not like the Bronx, but listen, I think, first of all, let me agree with Nancy. I think the economics of this is kind of questionable as to whether or not it actually produces affordable housing for a variety of reasons. I'll just leave it at that. But I think we need to be mindful of the fact that the expectation of so many people who moved to Montgomery County was that they would live in a neighborhood of single family homes. And that's what they expect, and that's what they support. And this is an effort to basically go back on that bargain, if that's if you look at it, what zoning provides, to provide higher density. And it seems to be the attractive solution for so many planners to increase density as a way of increasing affordability, which, again, I agree with Nancy. If you look at the numbers, it's really not quite so true.
Yeah, it probably won't be economical to do mass whole changes in the neighborhoods, but my goodness, I mean, the county has to recognize that we need to make more of our land available, and we have so many parts of the county where it's zoned 2 acres, and it certainly could be rezoned to greater density rather than just adding from single family homes to multifamily. I'm surprised. Any last thoughts, Nancy, before we go?
Well, I'm just saying, Casey, if you're going to run on the platform of getting rid of the ag reserve, you're going to have a challenge here in Montgomery County. So I don't think any large scale initiatives are of that that are of that nature are likely to occur. These are picking at the edges here, something like this, a few units here and there. It's not a bad
We
thing,
need
and it's
bold
not going to
leadership,
destroy a
Nancy. We
community.
need bold leadership. Mark, any last words? You're good?
I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah, we need bold leadership to rethink Montgomery County for the future. When there's enough pain demanding affordable housing, maybe something will finally get done.